Welcome all, Boone here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, looking at the DXY on the daily time frame. We've got this wave C down here. I'm not convinced that this is the low when we go down to the lower time frames, like I've mentioned before. I'm looking for this 333 or 335 after these 5 down here. We got like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm looking for 3 or 5 up in here. We've got 3 up in here so far. And there still is a chance we may get that 5th one up before it falls over. It's more of a sell at this stage. There is no buy set up on it. If I'm looking for that 5th wave up, I'd really like to see a nice impulse up and a bullish setup. I need this impulse first and a bullish setup before I can buy for that wave 5. For the sell, well, it's starting to look bearish in here. I mean, ideally, you would have got into this one in here and you'd already be in the sell. But if you're not, we get a bearish setup in here, you could look to sell to go and break the low. Possibly down to that daily 100 fib. This 100 fib down here. AU on the daily, looking for that A, B, C. I'm still looking for a bit more upside in this wave C, possibly up to that 100 fib. H4 is where it's starting to get messy. Very similar to DXY. I'm looking for a 333 or 335. Last few weeks last couple of weeks, we've been looking for this correction in here. We got this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm looking for 3 or 5 down in here. So I'm looking for a sell. Remove that. So H1, we got a nice impulse down. This is looking quite choppy. May not be over yet. We may get another one up in here, but as soon as we get a nice impulse down and a sell setup, I'll be looking for that, at least an A, B, C for 3 down. At this stage, there really isn't much on it. I mean, we had a nice impulse down here, but it's gone pretty much straight back up. This is retraced right back to the 90 fib. So even if this does come down, just breaking that low for a regular flat, it may still give us another one up here. Because of how deep this B wave in here is, or it may be a wave 2, but yeah, it's very deep. So, when we get these deep corrections after the impulse, really just look for a C down just to break that low as a regular flat at this stage, and then possibly more upside. So, I'd still be looking for a sell. I did take a sell in here on the lower time frames yesterday. It did go and then come back, took me out. But yeah, I'm more interested in the sells at this stage, even if it's just for 3 down, like an A, B, C, and then we get another one up. If we get another one up here and then a sell set up here, I'll still be looking for that sell. I'm more interested in the sells for those 3 down. GU, still looking for more upside. It can get up to this 100 fib here, this green 100 fib here. On the H4, we did get that, we eventually did get this nice flat. We're waiting quite a while in here. It started to go here. It gave us 3 down. And we got that A, B, C here, that flat like I've been looking at. This is, I mean, any buy setup you get, you can start to look for it. Over the last I'd really want to see a nice correction in here before you look to buy. At this stage, I wouldn't be buying just up the top here. But if I quickly go down to the M15, yeah, we're getting all that bearish divergence on the M15. So I'd be waiting for a larger correction. Get some sort of a 3 down. And then if you get the buy set up, you could look to buy for, at least an A, B, C. Ideally, it goes, well, at least breaks the top of this wave here. But ideally, it gets a bit further up, possibly up to that 100 fib. EU, we just about got to that 100 fib in this wave C. Again, we eventually did get a wave C down here. I've been looking for it right here, but we got it now. Take this off. So we got the 5 up, larger correction. So I'll be looking for a buy. Got to be very careful on this one though. We do have a bear hidden here. There is a bear hidden. So you can trade this pretty much both ways. This still can give us a wave 5 down for some sort of a like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before we get the buy set up. And this is the end of the wave C. So this one is quite difficult. You'd want a really nice setup because even on the H1 here, we have bearish divergence already. There really isn't a sell or a buy on it at this stage. I mean, at this stage, it could be a triangle. But A, B, C, D. Oh, sorry, A, B, C, D, E triangle here. And we get another one up. If I just zoom out. So then we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here. And then it gives us another one down. But this is... It's very difficult at this stage because, of that possible bear hidden. You could look for a buy if you're looking at this triangle for a wave 5. And, if it does go for you, all good. But, yeah, as for the sell, there really isn't a sell on it at this stage, unfortunately, for that bear hidden. NU on the daily, looking at that A, B, C, possibly up to that 100 fib. We do have a correction here as well, complete. We had that like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we got 3 down. I was looking for 3 or 5 down in here. We got 3 down in here now. So again, we can start to look for buys, but problem is, you're really just trading a wave 5 up, like 1, 2, 3, you get a wave 4, and you're trading a wave 5 up on the H1. It doesn't look very motive. That's the problem that I'm seeing. It's you got to get in and get it to break even, and yeah, it's really not the best. And again, like the others, we can get like 1, 2, 3, wave 4, and a wave 5 down in here. So again, it can still go either way at this stage. GY, this is pretty much complete. We've broken the ending point of that wave A in this wave C here. Still can get up to that 100 fib, but more interested in the sell now. We've got a wave A, looking for a B, and we get that C down. So I'm really looking for that wave C down. was looking for 3 down in here, or 3 or 5. It gave us 3, and again, we've got to be very careful here. We have a bear hidden. So ideally, for the buy, this goes up, breaks that top, we get a nice correction up here, and we can look for a buy, possibly up to the 100 fib on the daily. But other than that, we do have that bear hidden here, so we've got to be very careful. If you get a bearish setup, an impulse down and a bearish setup, you could look for at least 3 down, and more than likely that bear hidden will play out and go and break the low to give us 5 down, and then it goes. So again, pretty much trade it both ways. But at this stage, this is looking rather bullish. Not sure on the H1 if we do have a bear hidden here. We may just have a bear hidden here on the H1 as well. So, yeah, I wouldn't be buying up here. Really, if you're looking for the buy, you still need that correction first before you can buy. And like I just mentioned, if you get a nice sharp move down here and a correction, well, then you could look for a sell for that bear hidden to go and break the low. You white, I've been pretty much saying keep out of this because that low there hasn't been broken over here. And this is looking quite corrective. So, I'm looking for more downside. I mean, you can see how corrective this is looking here. It's not really playing out how I was looking at it. We I was looking for that move up here and then one down in here and then give us another one up. But all this, whatever's happening in here, it's corrective, but just waiting for the sell, and we may actually get a sell on this this week. Well, next week we have a nice impulse down from a top. So we have a nice impulse down. We're getting sort of 3 up in here. If you get any sell set up, like this is looking very corrective, I'd be looking for at least an A, a B, and a C. We're in a B wave now, I believe. So, yeah, I'd be looking for that sell. And yeah, I mean, at this stage, it's still in corrective mode. Like it can be 1 or W, X, Y, X2 and a Z up, or we don't know what sort of correction we're going to get in here at this stage. At this stage, it's just like 3 up. And it's still looking rather bullish on the lower time frames in there. So, it's not giving us sell setup yet. Um, you know, that's still looking rather bullish. So, we say we do get another one up in here, I'd be waiting for a nice impulse down and a sell setup to trade that, at least a C down on that H4, like this one here. After this impulse A, B, C, or on the H1. Ideally, it goes and breaks this low, So there is plenty of room in it to the downside, possibly. USD CAD, I've been waiting for this time factor here. We got this wave 4 in here and it's gone into the territory of this wave 2. So really waiting for that time factor, like I've mentioned over and over again for weeks and weeks. So there's 2 scenarios here on the H4 that we're looking at. We get an A, B, C. Well, this one got up to the 123.6. So we can get like a W, X, Y, an X2 in here and then a Z up before we get more downside. Or this is just an A, B, C, and it's complete. But on the lower time frames, it's already given us 3 down. see on the H1 here, we've already got the 3 down. So this was the opportunity to sell with this running flat here. You had a nice impulse down. And we, unfortunately, I was hoping we'd get, this would turn motive. It didn't. It just gave us like 3 down. And we have that bullish divergence here now. This is still looking rather bearish. But, there really isn't a buy or a sell. With that bullish divergence already present, it's very risky, and it didn't give us a buy. For the buy, I would have liked to see, a nice impulse up here, and a buy setup. To buy, impulse, 3 down correction, and, like an A, B, C. But it didn't give that either. So, and it's looking still rather bearish. I'd pretty much be staying out of it. Like I've been saying for months now on the daily, I'm waiting for that time factor, USD Swiss franc. We got this running triangle in here, that A, B, C, D, E. So I'm just looking for an A, B, C here. I'm not convinced this is the low like I've been going over, on the lower time frames. I've been looking for that 333 or 335 like I've been going over for months and months now. Still is a chance that we get 5 up in here, like many of the others. We got 3 up, so that's fine. This one went a bit past that 123.6. They just give us another one down in here. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here, and then we get the sell set up down to that 100 fib. Yeah, again, it's very tricky, very difficult trading at this stage. It has been quite tricky for a while, because we've been getting these corrections. So there's a couple of scenarios here. This looks like the choppiest wave so far, so I'll be looking at an A, B. We get a C up in here, and then an A, B, C may turn into 5 waves. I'm looking for a correction a similar size to this over here, and then I'll be looking for a wave 5 up. Other than that, if you do get another one up in here, it'll be worth, and a sell set up on the lower time frames, it'll definitely be worth taking it, even if it's just an A, B, C. It can just be a 333, and that's the end of the correction, and we go down and fall over and get down to that 100 fib. So ideally, I'm more interested in sells, but again, there's really no sell setup, at this stage. I mean, if we quickly go down to the M15, we got a nice impulse down, correction. This didn't come down and break the low, so it's becoming more complex. So really, I need that A, B, and a C up here, just breaking that top, and then I can look for a C down. At least a C down, or like I said, it may turn motive and go and break the low. But yeah. EG on the daily, this is pretty much completed. This is pretty much played out. How we're looking at it, we're looking at that 1, 2, 3, 4, and we got that 5th wave up, had that bull hidden there to go and break the top. It's already done that. There is a possible flat up the top here, but sort of looking for that wave 5. This was a larger correction. I mean, this wave 4 here did go and break the ending point of that wave 3, so it could be over. But again, if we're looking like this is the impulse down here, and we sort of got 3 up in here. So, this can be just a regular flat, an A, B, C here, regular flat, and it still gives us another one up. But up at these tops, after the daily has completed, possibly completed with that wave 5 and the bearish divergence, it starts to get dangerous to look for buys up the top here. So, I mean, this was the buy down here, Yeah, so really not much to do on the EG. WTI, if I zoom it right out here. So I'm looking at that a B, and a C, and we've got a complex correction in the middle, like an A, looking for a B and a C up in here, and then looking at internal, like an A, B, C, then an A, B, C. So I'm looking for this C down in here at this stage. This has been looking very bearish, for the last couple of weeks, like I've been mentioning. There was a possible that we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here as a extended wave 3, like 1, 2, extended wave 3, then a wave 4 and a wave 5. That didn't play out. Instead, we started to get this. This was looking corrective. So, we're looking for the sell. Ideally, it comes down, breaks these lows, and that daily, what I'm looking at on the daily plays out, and we get this C down in here. So, I mean, you're either on it or you're not at this stage. This was a correction in here that you really need to get in on. You still, I mean, on the H1, we're already starting to get that bullish divergence. So, I'm not interested in sells down here. So, yeah. Gold on the daily, we got that 1, 2, 3. I'm waiting for this time factor here. And then trade away 5 up. But at this stage on the H4, it sort of never quite played out for me. I was looking for a 333 or 335 here. It still can play out. But I was looking for that A, B, and a C here. This wave C here that I was looking at the time didn't go and break that low. So it still can be like an A, B, C up in here, and then you get that A, B, C. I'm still looking for that 333 or 335 complex correction. Whatever's happening in here is definitely corrective, but it hasn't completed the correction, I believe, the way I'm looking at it. Ideally, this one here would have went down, made it easy for us, and broken this ending point of wave A here in this C, and could have looked for buys, but yeah, it just didn't quite play out. So yeah, like I just mentioned, I'm looking at an A, B, C with an expanding flat in the middle here at this stage. We'll see how far this goes. But yeah, still would like to see another one down before I look for that buy to fill in that time factor on the daily. And that time factor on the daily still hasn't completed. This is the time factor here that I'm looking at. So there's still plenty of time. I should remove that one. But yeah, so gold I'll be pretty much leaving alone until I get a sell set up pretty much. Silver, so this is pretty much played out too. I mean, we've got the 5 up in here, larger correction, it's already gone up and broken the top. So overall, we're getting all that bearish divergence on the daily. Still, we got the 5 up on the H4 as well, like I've shown. We got a nice impulse down here. This is going pretty much straight back up though. But I really need to see, before I start buying again, really need to see a correction larger than these over here. If I just quickly go back to that daily, we've got this wave A here. We've got this wave A, So I need that wave B before I can look for a wave C up, before I start to buy it, Um, and yeah, I don't think it's ready yet. Well, this up in here may not be over. On this wave A on the daily may not be over yet. But yeah, I'm not interested in the buys up here. It does look rather bullish. Um, we have a nice impulse up, and we are getting a correction in here. So if you wanted to trade it, you could look to buy it. An A, get a B, and at least look for a C up. There is no sell on it. Um, there is no sell on it. So yeah, you could look for a buy. It's pretty much just scalping to go and break the top. Bitcoin, pretty much just very similar to silver. We got the 5 up, larger correction, and it's gone up and broken the top. This is still looking very bullish up here for more upside. I was looking for that wave C up, and we got that. This is still looking very much bullish here. But again, very similar to silver. We're already getting the bearish divergence on the daily. It starts to get very risky buying up the top of a market. On the H1, you'd be looking for a wave 4 and then trading a wave 5 up, like 1, 2, 3. You wait for a wave 4 and then you trade a wave 5 up. So yeah, and I'd really want a bull hidden in here too, before I'd look to trade that wave 5 up. Yeah. S&P 500, pretty much staying out of this too now. We had the 5 up. We've got an A, B, C here expanding flat, and it's already gone up and broken the top. For me to buy this now, I'd need like a large correction in here, which would probably take a year, maybe 2 years. Before I'd buy it, I mean, there's no way I'd be, if you're buying up the top here, it's just scalping, getting straight in and straight out of the market. H4, we're getting all that bearish divergence too. I mean, we have been looking for buys here. There was that flat there to buy. Currently, I mean, it's better seen on the H1. But you can see what I've been looking here. I was thinking this may turn motive, but again, this wave 2 is way too deep now. I was looking, had a nice impulse up. I was looking for a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. I was looking for 5 down here. This correction, it does look corrective, but it's more of a B wave rather than a wave 2, because this has gone, it's way back. It's back to the 90 fib of this impulse here. So I'd be just looking for an A, B, C now. So I'll take these off, and change that to an A, B, C. And this can go up and break this top, and I'd still be looking at it as a B wave, and then we get running or expanding flat here before we get more upside. So yeah, you're just scalping at this stage. I mean, we're already getting bearish divergence in this correction here. So if we get another high here, more than likely we'll get even more bearish divergence. So yeah, I wouldn't be buying. I'd be more interested in a sell. For the sell, I'd want, a high here, and then a nice impulse down, and a sell correction, and then a sell for at least an A, B, C, and then if I've got a buy set up, well, after 3 down or a correction, you could look for more upside. But yeah, I wouldn't be buying up here. I'd be more interested in a sell, but at this stage, there is no sell on it. AU 200, we got, impulse up. This is more on the higher time frame. Like this is more on the, we got this like A, B looking for a C up. Well, that C up's already played out, so we're going to get bearish divergence in here. How far this goes is anyone's guess, though. I've been looking for a correction, and I still am. To buy this, you need a correction, and so I'll just move this fib up. I'd need at least a 50 fib retrace here before I'd even consider buying it. Need some sort of a, 3 waves down, nice looking correction, and then I'd start to buy. Until that happens, I'm only looking for sells, and there is no sell setups on it. Even down onto the lower time frames. I mean, you may get a sell in here on the M15. Does look very flattish, so this is very choppy here, breaking the top. You got an A, B, C, expanding flat here. So this, very slow here, which you expect up the top, but this may go and break the low. I'd be more interested in a sell. It's very risky because, like I said, this can be an expanding flat here. It didn't go and break the top, but it still may. But I'd be more interested in like a correction A, B, C. If you just got a C up in here and then a sell, I'd be more interested in the sell. Yeah, but at this stage, until this top here is broken, I won't be looking for a sell until this top here is broken. And then it gives a sell setup, of course. So yeah, I mean, at this stage, I'm more interested in sells, especially right up the top of the market here, but there really isn't much on it at all at this stage. The FTSE is very similar, it's gone up and broken the top. We need a 50 fib retrace or a nice correction in here on the daily before I even consider buying. Other than that, I'd be looking for sells up the top here. Again, there is no sell setups up here. It's going sideways here, and it's not even coming from a top. Like this isn't coming from a top. That's the top there. So really, there's nothing to do on this. I'd be staying well out of it. Lastly, the DAX. This one here, we were looking to break the top with that bull hidden. We had that bull hidden here. So we were looking for that to go and break the top. This is looking like a flat here for another one up. Like a little flat in here for more upside. So, again, you could look for a buy. It's extremely risky right up the top here. But at least this one has given us a correction, A lot of the other indices, we just got this up and it's waiting for a correction. At least this one's got an A, a B, and a C down. You could look for a buy in there to scalp and see how far it goes. It does look very bullish. In saying that, you got to be quite careful because, you get 1, 2, 3. We got a bear hidden here at this stage. So, it is quite risky, but I'd be more interested in a buy here. It's setting up to be a buy too. M15, we've sort of got like 1, 2, 3, get a wave 4 and a wave 5 up in here. So yeah, if you're going to risk scalping right at the top of the market, well, you want to get it to break even as soon as you can. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.